Director Jeff Nichols failed to make a good impression on me with his 2016 movie Midnight Special. But if you thought that would be enough to turn me off the Bikeriders, think again. The movie stars Jodie and Austin Butler, two exceptional talents who've been putting out great work in the last few years. Then you've got Tom Hardy, one of the most talented, versatile actors in Hollywood, who's spent the last few years stuck in Venom hell. Between 2012 and 2017, he starred in 2 Christopher Nolan movies, one of the best action movies ever made in Mad Max Fury Road, a great bottle movie, and delivered an Oscar-worthy supporting role in Alejandro Inarritu's The Revenant. Between 2018 and 2023, he starred in 2 Venom movies, a terrible Al Capone biopic from Josh Trank, had a cameo in The Last Jedi, and oh wait, that didn't even make it to the final cut. The bloke is clearly struggling for work, so I was super pumped when I heard Hardy was finally starring in something with artistic merit. Even if the real life story of a motorbike group which gradually descend into criminality and chaos didn't inherently interest me. The Bikeriders is a good movie that could have been great. Since his breakthrough role in Elvis, I've been anticipating every next move from Austin Butler, and while his work here isn't as transformative as the chilling work he turned in as Fade Rose on Doom Part 2, this is the first role to fully lean into Austin Butler's good looks. He isn't bald, his eyebrows are still intact, and he isn't covered in enough prosthetics to look like a wax figure. Instead, he's cast in a bad boy James Dean type character, one that looks like he could make your life, but beneath the surface is more likely to ruin it. Though the role initially feels archetypal, he gradually peels back the role, layer by layer, to reveal a compelling vulnerability, reminding us why he's often cited as one of the defining faces of New Hollywood, and why directors the likes of Ari Aster and Darren Aronofsky all want his face in their upcoming movies. I could not have been less familiar with motorcycle culture going into the Bikeriders, but this movie does such a great job immersing us as an audience in the world of the motorbike riders. The image of masculine men wearing leather jackets riding motorbikes at night is an inherently cool and compelling image, with Jeff Nichols and cinematographer Adam Stone taking full advantage of this. In the increasingly digital world of filmmaking, the Bikeriders is a testament to why it's generally preferable to shoot on film, as it adds a sense of grit, as the 35mm Kodak film used to shoot the movie creates an incredibly lived-in world. Though the original score is unremarkable, the needle drops throughout the film help transport us into 60s and 70s America, to the point where we can feel the dirt and smell the cigarette smoke off them. Beyond fleshing the world out visually and auditorily, director-writer Jeff Nichols does an incredibly great job of fleshing out the culture of the motorbike gang, and masterfully uses the 2-hour runtime to document the gradual descent of the bike rider group. It's a tall order for a feature-length film, but Nichols showcases the degradation of the group in an organic fashion, to the point where the downfall feels not only tragic but hauntingly inevitable. Instead of treating the destruction of the group as an empty spectacle, the film used it to explore compelling themes. While the film feels like a nostalgic ode to the bike rider culture that pervaded the 70s, it takes a realistic, nuanced look at how the reckless abandon of the culture can be just as dangerous as it is liberating, how the rebellious mantra of the group can be just as freeing for men as it is alienating for women, and how media portrayals of cool male rebellion through the characters of James Dean and Marlon Brando impacted men of the 20th century. I mentioned that Austin Butler has my favorite performance in the movie, and that's because he's one of the few that doesn't have a laughably distracting accent. I mean, whether we're talking about Bane or whatever the hell he was doing in Venom, Hardy is no stranger to bafflingly strange accents. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and here it definitely doesn't work. In a recent interview, Hardy discussed the instinctual approach he takes to crafting accents, saying, "Accent work is not about phonetics or being accurate to me. It's about conjuring an atmosphere from a place which is authentic." I think it's starting to show, mate, because you just sound like a high school student doing the silliest accents imaginable to crack your friends up. Yet the worst offender in the cast is Jodie, whose accent feels cartoonish and tonally out of place with what is otherwise a serious, dark drama. The supporting cast is equally disappointing. I was anticipating Mike Feist's performance in this movie, having loved his portrayal of art and challenges. To give context to his character, The Bikeriders is based on a book about a real-life motorbike gang, which featured photographs and interviews. And Feist plays the character of Danny, who interviews the members of the group, and Jodie Comer's Kathy about their life in the game. Though honestly, his character isn't much of a character. He's more like a prop. He'll ask a question, we'll cut to the interview subject answering his question, and then we'll cut back to Feist nodding with a smile, and then asking another question. The character is so indistinct in personality, functioning solely as a storytelling device, that you could recast the character with anyone and it wouldn't change a thing. And when I say anyone, I literally mean anyone. Like, you could get Harrison Ford to play the role and it just wouldn't change anything, because nothing about the character really matters. As for Michael Shannon, who's appeared in every film from director Jeff Nichols, maybe this was the time to just let us miss him a little bit. He's not in this movie for any reason other than to fill the necessary Michael Shannon quota. Although I will say the supporting cast isn't all misses, with Carl Glasman and Boyd Holbrook both delivering great performances. To circle back to my criticisms, the relationship between Kathy and Benny is meant to be the heart of this story, yet it feels too underdeveloped for me to care about what happens to them. For the first half of the movie, we spend more time hearing Kathy discuss their relationship than we actually get to see the relationship play out. And I'll be hard pressed to describe why the two are even drawn to each other in a romantic sense. A Quiet Place Day One just recently displayed how you can develop character dynamics with little dialogue and little screen time, and this movie just completely misses the mark. In fact, the relationship between Tom Hardy and Austin Butler's characters feels more developed than the core relationship between Kathy and Benny. So while The Bikeriders is still a solid film which features a compelling tragic portrayal of the motorbike gang, brought to life with an incredibly lived-in period recreation, you can't help but feel like there's an even better film within it. And it would have involved a more fleshed out core dynamic, and a director who's able to rein his actors in when they're going just a little too far with their accent work. And for that, I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching this review. If you've watched The Bikeriders, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave us a like and hit the subscribe button, cause it really helps. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.